What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Christ, 3 years running top seller at ShineOn, now head of marketing at ShineOn. And before we get started in today's video, I just wanted to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. If you like this kind of content, I want you to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I hope you enjoy the video. What's up? What's up, Anna? Up, you're muted.
Hey, I'm unmuted. Hey, how are you?
Doing good. Ready for another Coffee with Michael.
Awesome.
What's up, fam? We got Chicago, like it. Vancouver, Canada. Lots of little maple leafs, I see. I think that's what that little leaf is code for. Lots of Canadians. We've got Lisa from St. Pete. What's up, Lisa?
Neighbor.
Yeah, I guess you've probably been over to the facility here. They're having a cookout today. If you head over, you might get some free food. They'll probably be mad I said that, but if you're in St. Pete, free food over at ShineOn. What's up from New York City, Facebook user? Never let me down. Thanks, Zappy, for the support. Benji, what's up, everybody? Everybody excited for this? Anna has been crushing it with some, I don't want to call them unconventional sales channels, but let's say some less popular ones, maybe. I'm not sure the right bucket to put it in, but she's been killing it with Etsy, which is what we're going to focus on today, and Amazon. So super excited to get into that. We are going to have a really fun interview with Anna. But before we begin, you guys know how this goes. We have to start with a little toast. It's the thing that puts rocket fuel on your ads and makes your Friday a little bit better, right?
Yep.
And it's the perfect way to kick off a weekend. Wherever you're at, find a glass, mug, bottle, or flask, and get ready for the digital marketer's toast. So here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs, to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs, to enabled ad accounts and big bank accounts, to upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sales, and to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Drink.
It's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah. Didn't this day just get a little bit better?
It did. That was amazing. That was like
magic. I know. Everybody's feeling it. You got dopamine kicks around the world right now.
Yes.
All right. So let's, let's get us back here. There we are. Okay. You guys know how we kick things off. We've got some testimonials we want to share real quickly, and then we will get going here. So I think the way this is going to work, I'm going to go through my normal spiel everybody's used to. Then we're going to do kind of some get to know Anna time. And then Anna's actually got some Etsy stuff that she's going to teach today. And we're also going to move into a QA. So we actually have a lot to cover. So we're going to move a little bit fast today. We're going to be at a pretty good clip. I love that everybody actually participates in our little toast here. It's fantastic. Okay, let's get going here. So first of all, seller successes. Moving fast this week, so we only grabbed 2. Rashmi did 6 units, $178 in profit. Thanks for sharing that, Rashmi. Fantastic job. You've got some swag coming your way. Great work. Thanks for sharing. It's encouraging to everybody when you do that. We have another one here from Botki. Sorry, buddy, if I'm mispronouncing your name. First sale, $89 AOV, which is freaking fantastic. Said they had to test almost 16 campaigns. So great job taking massive action and enduring through your losses. That is kind of what this game is about, especially in the beginning. You have to outlast your failures, right? But you'll learn grit, determination, a bunch of other skills that you need anyway for life. So it's worth it. So fantastic. Great job, you two. If anybody wants some free swag, all you have to do is share your testimonial, share in the Facebook group, and we will start randomly selecting people every week to be featured here in Coffee with Michael. It doesn't just have to be these testimonials. Share some value posts too. Educate people. Tell people how to scale. Do those kinds of things. We'll pull you out. We'll feature you here, and we'll get you some free swag. So appreciate everybody helping each other out. Again, we believe that a rising tide lifts all ships around here. We are not scared to help each other out. Okay, new product. Now this this was the exciting announcement this week. Actually, we had two because we were having Anna on and we released the watches. Now, these watches have been super popular. They have gotten a ton of feedback. My IMs have been blowing up. We've seen a ton of listings already go up on places like Etsy. People are testing with ads. It's insane the reception the watches are getting. And the first 500 sales on the watches are free. The watch I have right here in this box that I'm going to show everybody in just a minute. The first 500 sales are free. So that's absolutely zero base cost, pure margin on the first 500 sales. So get in there, start testing with it. Some people in this group are going to have an amazing Father's Day run thanks to this watch. So, okay, everybody I'm sure is curious. What does it look like? What's the packaging and all of that? So let's get into it. So first of all, on the screen, first 500 units are free, personalized and shipped from the USA. We have two kind of versions of the watch. One version is where you can take an SVG of your own design and you can actually upload it to the watch so that every watch you sell has the same kind of engraving on it. The other one is a buyer engraved watch. So you can see the engraving over here. It's only 2 lines. It's a little bit bigger text, but they can put a name, anniversary date, something like that. But this is where the buyer can actually customize the watch. If you have a Shopify store going already, and maybe you're not big into POD or something like that, and you're just trying to supplement your store with products, this is a great one because it requires literally nothing from you. It is just plug and play into your store, and you can start making some money. So, okay, let's get to the watch here. Right, here's the watch. Here's the box it comes in. It's a rectangular box. So it's a little different than the square ones we have for jewelry, right? Separates in two just like that. You've got kind of a nice layer of foam on top here. Let me pull that away. Inside is the actual watch. Whoops. And it's also inside a piece of cutout foam. So the packaging is really nice. I'm not sure if you can see that. Nice little piece of cutout foam. Packaging is really nice. And I can tell you too, the watch is super high quality. It's got a really good kind of weight to it. I associate weight with quality. I don't know if that's some kind of subliminal thing or what, but it's got a really good weight to it. The watch face itself, it's really slick and stylish. The glass on it is super clear. I mean, all in all, it's a super high quality watch. We recommend selling these things for 70, 80 bucks price point. And I think it's worth every bit of that. Then on the back, and it's going to be a little tough to see because I didn't separate this before the call, but you've got kind of the engraving there on the back. Not sure. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. It's you know what? We're super tiny here. What's wrong with me? Give me a second here. Let's blow this up a little bit more. There. All right, here we go. So you got the engraving going on kind of in the back, right? And the watch face, the glass it's super clear, right? There's no like scratches or cloudiness or anything like that on it. It's super easy to read. It just, all in all, it just feels super freaking high quality. The other thing that's kind of cool, just for those interested in the packaging, is the watch band here and here. And the watch face here, they all have a layer of protective like film on it. You know, like a new TV or computer comes with, you kind of peel it off and it's nice and shiny. It all gets shipped with that. So all in all, this is super freaking high quality, super cool. It's perfect for like a casual wear. Like I wouldn't mind wearing this on the weekends with just like a t-shirt and shorts or whatever, but it's also great for like kind of professional wear too. I mean, I could totally see somebody having this up a sleeve on a suit or something like that. You wouldn't feel like you needed to dress up for a suit. So all in all, it's fan-freaking-tastic. So let's see. Warranty on the watch. There is warranty on the watch. It's been added. Luna was talking about that earlier. So thanks for bringing that to our attention. Jessica says the watch is awesome. Yes, the watch is fan-freaking-tastic. So any other questions here?
Is it waterproof, Michael?
Yes. It's waterproof and scratch resistant. I think
Okay.
that's the right way to put it. So
Okay.
yeah, there it is, everybody. It's freaking awesome. Somebody is going to make a ton of freaking money on this deal. Super high quality. First 500 units are free. I'm probably actually going to wear this. They sent it to me, and it will probably just be on my wrist. And I mean that. It's like a pretty freaking cool watch. Size adjustments, yes. So I think I'm not typically a watch guy, but I think you can adjust it back here. I think that's like adjustable. Yeah, you can kind of squeeze this in and do something fancy with it. Let's see. Already have 2 up on my site. Way to go. Way to go. The Father's Day holiday pie belongs to the action takers. Any directions with the watch? No. There are no directions with the watch. But I mean, well, I'm not sure that you really need directions. But no, there are no directions on the watch. Let's see. Going to add to my shop on Etsy. Way to go. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to be able to answer every question right now because I want to get moving here with Anna. And there's a lot of good stuff here coming through. Samples on the way. Been waiting for the watch forever. Really exciting. Nice watch. Already selling now. That's what we like to hear. Way to go, Tony. Way to go, Tony. All right. Let's keep going. That is the watch. Maybe I can bring it out later during the Q&A if anybody has any questions. Okie dokie. Let's get this. Uh-oh. Back up. All right. All right, Anna. Well, that was a quick transition.
Those watches are so awesome, guys. We should be so excited that we have an amazing men's product to sell now. We haven't had that quite there yet. At least I feel like. I mean, that is like an amazing product we should be super excited about.
You actually be a perfect person to ask this because I've heard both my wife and my mom complain that men are just difficult to buy for. Would you agree with that?
Yes, actually, that is true. Okay, I have an honest confession. I almost never buy presents for my husband because I don't know what to buy him. So I just like hug him and say, I love you.
Yeah, there you go.
So maybe this is my year because I have a watch.
Yeah, well, there you go. But you know, seriously, it feels kind of if it's true that men are kind of difficult to buy for, which from what I hear, it kind of is, this fills a little bit of a gap, right? The other thing is the wife to husband niche does sell well on Facebook. It really does. Now, not a lot of people test in it, but I've seen many times where someone nails a product in this niche and they can scale it every bit as big as like a husband to wife type product. You would just never think it, right? So the male niche it's kind of ripe. It's there for the taking. So anyways.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's opportunity there. You just got to make it for yourself.
All right. So let's talk about you for a minute, Anna. Okay. So I figured we'd start this interview off with an easy one. I've been thinking, like, how should I kick this off? What should I ask her? So I'll give you an easy one first. I want to know, from your perspective, what is the meaning of life?
Oh, the meaning of life? Okay, meaning of life for me is your family and the people that are around you. And everything else is just kind of secondary to that, right? So, relationships. That's, everything else can go away, but relationships are what are the most fulfilling part of life. And that's actually what drew me into ShineOn. One of the first things that drew me into ShineOn is because of that aspect.
The relational gifts.
Mm-hmm. It was positive. It was something that was like bringing people closer together. And I love that concept because that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins says the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships.
Yes.
So you're probably onto something.
Amen to that.
Cool. Well, very cool. So here, tell us a little bit about how did you get into e-com here?
Okay.
When did you start?
Good question. So when I was in my younger 20s and I was married and first pregnant, I knew, my husband was getting ready to go to grad school. And I always knew I wanted to own a business, but my priority was being a stay-at-home mom. I just always wanted to have kids and I always wanted to be there for them and watch them grow. So I started kind of digging around to see like what's out there for me in this position. And I read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Yeah. Who hasn't read that, right?
Yeah, it gets everybody.
Yeah, it does. And that's kind of what was like the first thing that was like got me into e-commerce, right? It was like, I'm going to figure this out. I can do that.
So what year was this?
This would have been about 8 years ago because it was right around
the time. So like 2012, 13-ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first thing I sold was I made my own website and tried to sell squeaky shoes with a drop shipping company. Do you know what they are?
Are they the ones that had the kids wear that had the annoying like dog toy inside of them?
I had lived in China and they were everywhere, and I was like, I'm gonna bring those to the United States. I'm gonna be so cool. And it just like was my first try, and it totally flopped. And I was like, all right, this isn't working. I'm gonna try something else. So then I started selling FBA products, where I went around and sourced at like Walmart and Shopco and Target, and I did the whole arbitrage thing. And it was really fun. We, every Wednesday night, my husband would watch the kids, and I'd go around the stores, and then I'd have my kids help me put stickers on and do the like tape on the boxes. And
but it was FBA. It was Amazon.
It was Amazon. Yeah.
So it was the fulfilled by merchant.
No, it's fulfilled by Amazon. So it's where you go buy a bunch of products, you'd send it to their warehouses, and then they do the handling of the product. You
were going to like a Walmart or a Target buying stuff.
Yeah.
That's
it's crazy. And you'd sell it for
like
more.
A weird version of doing like the flea market thing.
Yeah, kind of. But it was awesome. If you found one thing at Target, you could go to like all the 5 Targets in your area, and you'd buy everything and then ship it in. So it was great. And I thought it was awesome. And then, here comes baby number 2 and number 3. And it was like, oh, they're 18 months apart. So I'm like drowning in babies, which was wonderful. They're so great. But like having a bunch of inventory everywhere was getting harder. And that's when Merch by Amazon started. And I was like,
oh,
what? There's no inventory? All I have to do is create a design.
So where are we at now? 2016, 2017?
This was about 4 years ago or 5 years ago when Merch by Amazon started. So
it's about 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Somewhere around there. So I had some success there. I was really kind of doing this all part-time, because when you have 3 really small children, it does consume most of your life. And but it was great because I wasn't having to ship stuff. I didn't have a bunch of stuff lying around in my house anymore. If you do inventory, you know how difficult it is dealing with it. Like it is so hard. So when March came around, it was like a huge blessing. So I started doing that, and I had some big wins that were really, really exciting. I learned a lot of skills that I applied to this last run that I had on Mother's Day from my time doing Merch by Amazon. So fast forward, we moved to Germany this last year. Woo! It was a bucket list for our family to live overseas. And the kids were also going to be going to school, all of them this year. And I was like, all right, I've set my eyes on this year for 8 years now, where I am going to like just blow it out of the park. No, what's the phrase?
You have more time during the day.
Yes. And my schedule wasn't all over. You didn't have nap times anymore, no diapers. It was like dedicated time. Even if it's just 5 hours, it was like 5 hours of dedicated time, uninterrupted. But I kind of ran into a problem. I was just kind of sick of Merch by Amazon. Because you're going for like $2 to $3, maybe $5 profit margins on the shirts, right? And which is fine. Like there are tons of people who have success with that, but I'm not a naturally funny person. I'm more sentimental and relationship driven. And so it was kind of hard for me to keep coming up with new ideas.
Yeah, on shirts. Especially because it's like the sarcastic, funny stuff.
Yeah, yes. And I just not sarcastic. Yeah. So I actually was thinking about this about the time school started. And I was like, I'm going to quit, which was crazy to me because here I'd been working on this for 4 years and I decided to quit. And I was like, I'm just going to find something else. But I still love the idea of pod because I want flexibility in my schedule. And I want to be able to work at home. We've moved a lot. We've traveled a lot. We still want to travel. And so I still needed something flexible. And enter ShineOn. And the rest is kind of history.
So when did you find ShineOn? Was this 20? What year is it? Was this 2020?
So I had heard about ShineOn maybe a couple years ago. And it just didn't click, like the high margin thing. You know, I was so determined that I was going to make what was in front of me work that it just didn't click at that time. So this was probably like at the end of last year that I started to realize that like this just wasn't fulfilling for me and that it wasn't where I wanted to go. So it was in January that I really like dived in and I was like, I'm going to make this happen. And I set some goals and I was like, hey, Mother's Day is coming up. I know it's a huge season. So I just dove in. And
that's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
props to you for somehow doing all this with 3 kids. Cause I have 1 kid.
Oh, do you? How old is
I don't
he?
even know how, I don't know how you do it. Quite honestly.
Well, sometimes I don't, but I try my best.
Well, the workload had to have been just nuts. When did you work? Was it either early in the morning, late at night, between diaper changes? Like, when were you doing everything?
It really it was, I'm not like a super organized mom. So it really was just like kind of in between sporadic. And yeah, when they were all in diapers together at the same time. So it really was crazy, but it got easier as the years have gone on because they can like manage themselves now. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. Well, good for you.
Thank you.
All right. So you discover Etsy, right? So it sounds like not for Q4 really, but for kind of the Mother's Day run.
Yeah.
Right? And did you mess around with the platform or with like Shopify and Facebook ads, or did you go straight to kind of Etsy and Amazon?
Okay, awesome question. So I have experience selling on Amazon, and I actually do have an Etsy store from my t-shirts. So I have had a lot of experience with Etsy as well for the last couple of years. So when I found ShineOn, I noticed, I think I probably watched your videos at first, and I was like, I just don't know anything about Facebook, as you know, and it just seemed really foreign to me, but I was so committed to my goals. And I was like, you know what? I am going for low-hanging fruit. I'm just going to go with what I know. So I think I found one YouTube video. That was pretty much it. The only requirement that I needed to get started was I had to have an integration, because I've done manual orders before and they are so painful and miserable on all accounts. So it was like, if there's an integration I can find, then I'm sold on this. So I found one video about said commerce. I was like, all right, I'm all in. So I set everything up and took the knowledge that I've had from my previous businesses and experience and just jumped in. And yeah, the reason why I didn't go with Facebook or Shopify was just because I didn't know those things. And I
freaking love it. Well, I think what's also so cool is it sounds like you've just taken so much action over the years. Like it just sounds like you never gave up. You were constantly trying new things. You were in this for the long haul, which I just think is super cool. And then, you know, when you had an opportunity like ShineOn in front of you, rather than getting stuck in like analysis paralysis and trying to figure out what to do and researching until you found the absolute best Etsy integration, all this stuff, you just freaking went after it. And I'm highlighting that because I think that's an important thing for people to realize. Like it does kind of take that to succeed a little bit. Like done is better than perfect, right?
Yes.
And you cannot let perfect slow you down all the time, right? If you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to create situations where you can fail quickly, right? Because that's like your feedback loop, right?
Yes.
You have to keep it small so that you can adjust and keep iterating towards success. So failing quickly is not a bad thing as long as it comes with a lesson and you get back up on the horse and try again. Yeah,
I completely agree. And especially when you're in this space, the key really is consistency. And I just like to say that 99% of my work is failing work, because I'm really looking for those few winners that are just going to make my income for the whole year. And if you can accept that failure is almost the business, then you're going to have the greatest success.
Yeah, totally. You know, I love that.
Because that's part of the game. You know, I see people going, you say, I put 10 listings up and I don't even have any views. It's like, yeah, you have 10 listings up. Why would you think you have views? Like, you got to keep going. You got to keep grinding and just test things until you find that perfect person to sell to.
You know, there's this weird thing about entrepreneurship where like, it's like, okay, this is going to sound pretty bad, but there's some truth in it. It's like every day you wake up and you try something and you realize how bad you suck.
Yes.
Right? But like that happens like literally every day. And you have to live in that place and get comfortable with it before you will ever do anything good.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree. So you just have to stick to your goals and consistency. If you keep with consistency, eventually you'll overcome the complete failure and get to some wins and mostly failures.
Yeah, I love it. So here, this probably is a good transition at this point to get into some of the content you actually prepared for us. So
Okay, awesome.
Anna put together some content like how to get started with Etsy, right? And we're going to stay kind of high level. We're going to move to a Q&A. And then Anna also has a PDF. It's like 26 pages, you said? Or something ridiculous.
It's 22 pages, guys.
22 page guide on how to get started on Etsy.
I am saving you out like hours upon hours because I spent hours upon hours for you guys to get this so you can start selling immediately.
And I've seen this guide and it's pretty freaking badass. So anyways, at the end of this, I'm going to be attaching a link to this post, right? It'll be up at the top. We'll drop it in the comments where everybody can go and download the guide. But that's at the end, so you got to stay tuned. So we're going to get into her content. We're going to do a Q&A. Whatever questions you have, kind of sit tight on those, right? If you ask them now, I'm not going to see them in the chat, unfortunately. Kind of sit on those questions, and when we get to the Q&A, let her rip, and we'll start working through them. So, okay, I'm going to let you give us monologue here for a little bit. You just tell me when to change the slides.
Okay, sounds good. Let's jump in. So I wanted to start with this slide to show you to open your eyes to what's possible with starting with Shopify. Okay, so if you use a Shopify app and you're uploading your designs there, eventually you can scale out your products to at least these 3 platforms. So you have Etsy, Facebook, and Amazon, which is really awesome because then you're doing work for one time, and then you can put it out onto multiple different places. Now, obviously, I'm encouraging Etsy right now. We'll go in the future slides kind of why I focus on Etsy. But this is kind of the big picture that you want to consider is how much platforms can you get for your work? Because the more places your designs are at, the more opportunity for sales and revenue. So let's see here. Yep, that's it. I think go to the next one. Okay, so here are some reasons why I am such a huge fan of Etsy. So the first reason is it's just a really low cost way to start selling ShineOn products because you don't have to start testing ads. A listing is 20 cents to get a product up, and you don't have any monthly fees with that. So it's just really simple in terms of being able to test out thousands and hundreds of products at a smaller cost. So the other nice thing about Etsy is that it's a marketplace. So people are going to come to Etsy already interested in buying your products. So the important thing is if you have a good product with a listing that's optimized with good keywords, you could have an instant buyer and you could start selling to these people today. And there's no waiting for that, which kind of, leads to the next one. Getting set up on Etsy is just super easy. I'm going to give you guys that PDF, and you can be set up on Etsy in a couple of hours, and you can start selling those watches, sell those message cards, get ready for Q4. And you can do that today, which is so awesome. If you choose any of those other platforms, you have a lot more setup going for you. So I love just going the easy route. Like, you can do this immediately, you can learn it fast, and you can get sales going. Let's see here. No monthly fee. I think we touched on that. So you're just paying your 20 cents a listing. Of course, Etsy does charge fees when you make a sale, but you don't get that until the sale actually happens. So that's pretty awesome that there's not upfront money there. Sorry, these are really small on my screen, so bear with me.
Do you want me to read them for you?
Sure.
So this one up here, cost of listing fees is very minimal, making it easy to test hundreds and thousands of designs.
Yeah, so this is really cool, guys, because if you think about how many people we have in the world that we can sell to, there's a million different niches that we can touch on. So you can throw up thousands of listings for almost no cost, and you're testing it to lots and lots of different people, which means there's just so much opportunity on Etsy to build a fantastic portfolio that you can have a great annual revenue on. So that's pretty cool.
The next one is Etsy runs Google ads at no extra cost to you, and you can make a sale.
Yes, this is cool. So I like to do as little work as possible to make my sale. So one cool thing about Etsy is once you reach so many sales, Etsy will run Google ads for you at no cost. No cost to run them. And if you make a sale, then they charge for the Google ad at that time. But it's fantastic because they're going out and finding more customers for you, and you don't have to do the work. So that is super cool. On my listings where they had that, or where they brought the customer in from Google ads, it was between $6 and $9. But when you have margins like we do on ShineOn, it's like free money, right? It's just extra money on top that we didn't have to work for.
Yeah, so, totally. Super freaking cool. Yeah, all right, the next one is integrations available, making it really easy to get listings up. Yes.
Okay. So this is really important to think about as you get into your business, because what happens with personalization, it is a great lucrative market. And it's not that it shouldn't be touched, but you need to think about your time and what's going to happen if you start getting a bunch of orders in and personalization orders in. So if you're doing everything manually, what happened to me when I had a t-shirt take off on Etsy a couple years ago was I was doing all these manual orders because I didn't have an integration set up with my pod company. So this was at the beginning of the holiday season when this happened. And I ended up spending all my time doing these manual orders. And then I wasn't able to get anything up for the rest of the season. I kind of missed the opportunity for the rest of the selling season because I spent all my time essentially becoming a order manual fulfiller, which was miserable. And then I missed out on some sales because I didn't get more up for the rest of the season. So you need to have a balance where can you keep growing without getting stuck on a specific task in your business. And so with Etsy, it's really cool because there is an integration available now that you can set up. It's called Said Commerce is the one I use. They have a very small free trial, but then it's, we're getting into that in later slides, but it's cool. Integration is super important in pod business because it makes everything so much easier. You don't make mistakes. It just gets the job done for you.
And then this last one is you can create steady income as you build your portfolio that could last for years to come.
Oh, I love this one. This is so cool. So if you think about once your product is up there, it's up there for as long as you want it to be up there. So Etsy does charge for a product to be listed like every 3 or 4 months. But if you get a product that sells, it could sell for, 4 to 5 years or longer. And you did that work once. So you're going to keep getting the payoff for that product over and over again. Now, if you think about your listings, you're going to have some that sell maybe once or twice a month. And if you have thousands of listings selling once or twice a month, you could still have a 6-figure year doing that. Okay, then you have your next tier of some that are going to start selling every, once a week or twice a week. And so those are going to be awesome to build. And then you're going to have your top sellers that are going to carry a lot of your sales for you throughout the, maybe during this holiday seasons or Q4. So you're building a portfolio, but these listings are up there forever. And if they're good and they're universal and they're timeless, you could be making money off the products that you sell this year, 5 years from now, and you're not doing extra work. So that's the cool thing about building up on these platforms.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, any activity that's high leverage like that, I just drool over.
I know, right?
And you probably really value it because when your time is limited, right? Leverage is the only other like thing you really have.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's awesome. Okay. Can you read this one?
Okay. Let's see here.
I can read it.
Okay. Okay. No, I can't. I think I can read it. Perfect. Okay. So what's cool about Etsy is that you can, I mean, it's a huge marketplace. It's not as big as Amazon or Facebook, but it's huge, and people make, you know, they make the amount of money that they want. There's opportunities. If you wanted just to do $2,000 a month, you can make that. But if you want 6 figures, that opportunity is there on Etsy too. But one strategy that's kind of a pro tip here is that you can use this as a place to test to a large audience of people. And then when you have a winner, you can move that onto the platform or onto your own Shopify store and scale that on Facebook. So that's a cool way of kind of testing things out without having to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. But also you're still building a revenue stream.
Yeah, I love that.
So.
Okay, is that it for this slide?
Let's see here. Okay, let's talk about the smaller designs here. Oh, okay. This is a benefit. So on Facebook, right, if you don't have a design that takes off or scales or becomes consistent, on Etsy, it could be a completely different game. So you're testing it in a sense that you're looking for, you know, a big home run. But if you don't find a big home run, you could get consistent sales in that it sells once a week. So you can build your portfolio on Etsy with smaller sales and still get to that revenue goal that you're hoping to get. So that's one nice thing about Etsy. And the last thing I want to talk about is kind of the stability of the platform on Etsy. So every platform is going to have pros and cons that people are going to complain about till the end of time, right? But one thing about Etsy is that generally it's going to be very stable and consistent in what they expect from sellers. And the platform isn't going to take these huge swings that are going to wipe out people's businesses or anything like that. So as long as you're playing by the rules in general, obviously there's always the exception or somebody who says that, you know, they did everything right. But in general, if you're playing by the rules, you're going to have a very stable opportunity here that will come with Etsy. And you know, you're not going to have the ups and downs like you can with Facebook when, oh, the rules have changed. What are we going to do now? Generally, those changes are smaller, or you know, if you have a bigger change, it's more palatable. You can handle that change on Etsy. It doesn't change your whole business overnight, like Facebook. Sorry, Michael, Facebook ads.
No, we're all feeling the pain.
Yeah, I don't want to have Facebook. It has a great place, but I love building an ecosystem of selling for stability.
What I found is they all just have different characteristics, right?
Yeah.
Like Facebook is more kind of direct response. And also, like, unfortunately, when it comes to scaling, like to really big numbers, there's still just no other game in town like Facebook where you can, when you have a winner, you can just dump bags of money into the machine.
Yes.
And it'll just multiply it for you. You know?
Yes, that's amazing.
But like Etsy, Amazon, some of these other platforms, the ones that are more intent based, it seems like you can't hit as large numbers like during scaling. However, they're more consistent over the long term, you know? Yeah. So it's really, it's not either or. It's not either Facebook or Etsy or Amazon or whatever. It's both and. It's do them both. Why not?
Yeah, yes, do it all. Yes, it's really, you should start with one platform is my recommendation and get to know that, master that one. And then you start adding these platforms in, including Facebook, to maximize your time and your opportunities. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
I love it too. It's so exciting.
All right. So what's possible with Etsy?
Okay. So I love this slide because I'm coming from t-shirts and mugs where you're like looking at $2 a sale, and these numbers would look night and day difference. Okay. So coming to ShineOn, guys, we should be drooling over our opportunities right here, because if you look at these numbers, just selling 5 products a day, you can make over $36,000 in profit. Like, that's insane. Like that's just nothing to sell, like 5 products a day. And who knows, maybe your goal is only to make a few $1,000s a year. Like this is amazing that you can do that with so few product sales. Do you want to add to that, Michael?
No, I took that. One of the things that we keep coming back to, I think, with Etsy is leverage. Leverage. Yeah. Like, I mean, you highlighted this with the Shopify store. You can create a Shopify store, and then it's like you can go to Amazon, you can go to Etsy, you can run Facebook ads. It's like you can do 10 million things with it. The Shopify store is a high leverage tool to have. Then when you start to zoom in on Etsy, for example, again, it's back to this leverage thing. It's like you can build out a few hundred listings, right, that start to rank in the search engine, right, and is just there for the picking. Like when people come in and search, and if you can just get a handful of sales every day, it turns into a 5-figure, perhaps full-time income for some individuals.
I mean,
almost entirely passive.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so then you can see that when you start getting into the, the larger numbers, 20, all you need is 20 sales a day and you're making over 6 figures. I mean, like, so there was, the post that I put my success numbers on, Michael?
Yeah. I should have put them at the beginning of this.
Well, that's fine. There was somebody in there. I don't remember the person's name, but they questioned my numbers. And I was kind of giggling about it because when I see that, it blows my mind too. Like, I'm like, I can't believe that happened to me. Like, that doesn't seem real, right? And I was like, yeah, I kind of don't blame him because it's so crazy that this is out there and that someone who's like me, who's just like working from home, like with this kind of busy schedule all over the place, all around the world place, can sell 20 items a day or whatever and can have those kind of numbers. Like, it's absolutely insane. And it's awesome. Like, you can start there and it's just great.
All right, I am going to have to speak up. This always gets me pumped when we get into this. So, first of all, I totally understand the disbelief. Like when you look at your own revenue numbers. I felt the same way when I did the $92,000 in a single day. Like, people have to understand that I was working a full-time job when I did that. I got up in the morning. I ran my ads for 2 or 3 hours. I went to work. I literally managed my ads from my phone, right? And came home. And that day I made like 30 grand in profit. There are a few things about this that people just don't get. First of all, I was kind of having mild panic attacks during the day.
Like, is this really me? This is happening to me?
You're spending a lot of money, but like, it doesn't feel real because you're selling products you've never seen before, technically, to customers you've never met.
Yeah.
Like, you're not there for the transaction at all.
Yeah.
Like, there's this big piece of me that's like, is this real? Like, am I freaking delusional here? Am I going to wake up in just a minute and realize I was just dreaming? Because there's still some quality about it where you can't see it, you can't touch it, it's not tangible. But the money shows up in your bank account later. And that it wasn't until I saw that I actually breathed a sigh of relief. I literally the whole time just felt it's a very weird twilight to kind of be in.
It is. I think I just got my last customer service email for Mother's Day. Like, I can see that they're like, I don't think yesterday I had any. And it was kind of like, oh, okay, it actually is done. I think I did it,
Yeah, it's like you cross a finish line. It really is kind of like that.
Okay, now I got to do this again. I'm going to do it again,
I mean, after that run, when I did that, I was literally exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I took like 2 or 3 weeks and just had to totally defrag.
Yeah, you almost can't like sleep at night. Like, it's still running in your head even at night. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just sold like.
You wake up in the middle of the night, and for me anyway, I'm like checking my ads.
Yes. My husband's like, are you waking up in the middle of the night to check your numbers? I was like, no, I had to go to the bathroom. Like,
yeah, totally. But okay, before we move on though, so back like to the opportunity, right? Like, I love that you're abroad, right, with your husband and your family,
Yeah.
right? And you're presumably taking care of the kids. I don't know, stay-at-home mom kind of thing.
Stay at home.
And you're busy, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're making all this money. And this goes back to what I keep trying to, we are literally sitting on what I think is the greatest entrepreneurial opportunity in the history of the world. I'm not kidding. I'm going to say it again. You literally can take an idea in your head, put it on a product that you've never seen before, that you don't have to risk any of your own capital to store inventory for. You have to put it on that product for free using a tool like Canva. Right? You don't even have to necessarily have your own Shopify store if you go with the platform, right? Which means we literally take care of all of that for you. Yeah. Then you get to use distribution channels that rival a Target, a Walmart, a Costco, whatever, for literally pennies on the dollar.
Yes.
Right? The entire service is basically free up until you get a sale. It's
amazing.
There has never been anything like this before in the history of the entire world, right? Yeah. This is an amazing time to be alive and to be taking advantage of this space.
It is. And let me just add to that. It's not just about that it's accessible or that it's free. It's also about the margins that we have here. You can make $20 on one product. Like when you compare that to t-shirts and mugs, that changes your whole entire revenue and your whole entire profit margin. Like it's so crazy that I have been around for, I've been doing this for a handful of years now, and I never heard of anything like that. And I'll just never look back. Like I will only focus on high profit margin things now. Like that's it, because it will change your game. It will change the amount of time you spend, or the time you do spend is going to maximize your efforts. Like it's just such a game changer. I just wish I could shake everybody and be like, come on, jump in.
Yeah. I'm hearing you though. It gives me super freaking jazzed. All right, let's keep going here.
Okay.
So success stories. You need me to read this or anything?
No. We'll let everyone read this on their own, but this is from Lisa, who is super cool. She's been, sorry, Lisa, if I butcher this. I know she's only been working on this for 1 or 2 months. So she has just jumped in like I did. She's taken action. She's asking questions in this ShineOn group.
Freaking love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. She has, she just has no shame in asking even the basic questions. And she's pumped. And this is her results that she wanted to share everyone. So that's super cool. That's somebody that just jumped in and immediately this is their results. So that's congratulations, Lisa. She's awesome.
$1,536 in profit. Do you know if she did any ad spend on this?
I don't think so. So that is one benefit about Etsy is you can grow with organic audience and or customers, and you can also grow with ads as well. So
that's awesome. Congratulations, Lisa. If you're watching this, comment and we'll send you some swag.
Woohoo! Way to go,
right.
Lisa.
Jillian. Okay,
I think it's Jillian. Okay. I think it's Jillian. So she is a really awesome person too. And she jumped in to Etsy. I think she just started a month ago too, and she's having some immediate results. So this is what I'm talking about with Etsy is you don't have to get a lot set up to have huge success. There's a lot of value in just being able to do something the easy way. Etsy is just the easiest thing to get started on, and you can have huge impact and huge numbers, or small success. You can start your success wheel immediately. You don't have to wait on anybody. You can do it.
I love it. Well, I love too. It seems like it simplifies a lot of things. You don't have to be as much of a marketer. It doesn't sound like, right? You're it's more like just populating a store with stuff is almost what it feels like.
Yeah. As long as, you have to design with your perfect person in mind, right? You can't just throw out anything. You have to have something that connects with somebody, but you can throw out a lot of stuff and see what connects with people. But, it's cool because I'm starting to get more stories from people who are these sellers here who are just hey, I just, they're kind of in the background a little bit. And they're hey, I just started, but I have these goals, I'm a mom. I want to provide for my kids, or I have goals for our family. And so they're having success already just by jumping in. So that's cool.
Yeah, love it. I think this is the last one here.
Okay. Oh no, there is one more after that. It's a surprise for you. I added it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is from a guy. We didn't put his name up here. I don't think it's on there, but his name is Roshan. I'm pretty sure I said it right, so I'm sorry if I didn't. But he is really cool. He opened his store up late last year in Q4, but he told me he didn't start until earlier this year. He is 22 years old, and he lives in a part in his community where people just don't believe in e-commerce success or doing online stores. So he wanted to, show his family and his community members that it's possible and it could change lives. Depending on what part of the world you're in, if you're making $1,000 or $2,000 a year or a month, that's going to provide it's going to go a really, really long way. So this was a huge success for him. I was super excited, but he just, he just keeps going, and he's young. He just jumped in and did it,
I love it. It just comes down to taking action. That is what is so freaking cool about this. Like it's an equal playing field. It's not about who you know. It's none of that.
Yeah.
It's
where you're from.
Taking action. The only barrier to getting into this is in between your ears. That is the only thing that is going to stop you from succeeding here. Yeah. Right? It's the closed doors, the red lights, the distractions, everything else you have right in between your 2 ears. That is it.
Yeah. So, and I'll be honest, I have been there. There was years where I've been there, but it was really this year when I was like, nothing's going to stop me. I can't fail for myself. And that I truly believe is what contributed to my success, was that change in my mind that like nothing was going to stop me. Like when I was figuring out said commerce, it was like, I spent hours on the chat or whatever it took. I was like, I know this is just what I have to do. And so I just went,
Yeah, that's great. This was Roshan, you said?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is Roshan, as long as I'm saying it correctly. But he's super, super nice. I know he's in the ShineOn group. So shout out to him and his great success.
Wow, congratulations, buddy. That's fantastic. I love it.
Yes.
Okay. And this, I didn't know this slide.
This is your surprise, because I thought I would throw her in last minute. So this is Haley. She is
this is back to that meaning of life thing, right?
Yes, yes. So she's my cute 8-year-old. And she was like, Mom, I really want to make some money. I was like, great, write a message card. And I'll put it up. And so she wrote this really romantic card from husband to wife.
Romantic.
Yeah, it was. I read it. I was like, from
what have you been watching? Yeah.
And we put it up on Etsy, and she made a sale, and she made $22.
Wow, good for her.
No ads. It was
like 6 months worth of chores or something, huh?
I know. And she was the one that also told me, we were looking at my numbers one day as they were going crazy. And I was sitting there, and she goes, Mom, why don't you raise, or she was showing me this necklace she had found and liked. And it was actually, I can't remember. It was priced pretty high. And I was like, maybe I should raise my price. And she goes, yeah, Mom, you should raise it $4. And I was like, okay, Haley, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I'm so glad I listened to her, because it paid off. I mean, she made me
royalties or anything.
I told her I'd give her $10.
You got some consulting fees or something.
I was like, thanks, Haley. You made me a lot, but I'm going to give you $10.
Dude, that is freaking awesome.
So I wanted to highlight her, because I wanted to share that there's so many variety of situations that we have in our group, right? You could be a stay-at-home mom. You could be you could have a full-time job. You could be a retiree looking to supplement your income. You could be in your early 20s. You could be any of these things with a goal in mind. You could be trying to pay for kids' colleges. You could be trying to pay for a house, or, maybe you lost a job. Sorry, that's my husband calling. You could be trying to you may be trying to find a job or work for yourself because you lost money from the pandemic, but it's like I'm trying to show that there's someone, people from all around the world doing this, and even an 8-year-old has come up with one idea that was supposed to put up with one, and she got one sale. So anyone can do it.
I freaking love it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Maybe we'll do a coffee with Michael. Juice with Michael or something with her at some point.
Yeah, juice.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Fruit tea.
All right. Okay. Let's get into the good stuff. How to get started. Step 1.
Awesome. So this is really the hardest part about getting set up, because if you're not familiar with what you're looking for, then it can get confusing. But honestly, guys, if you just dig through this part, then it's just kind of all uphill from there, because you can immediately start listing things and having the chances of selling, right? So we're going to walk through these steps. And then like Michael says, I have a PDF that walks you through everything, so you can just get going on testing out designs. So this here is the slide. We always start with Shopify, right? Because that's our top level, platforms, so that we can get to all the other ones. And of course, we're focusing on Etsy because it's low hanging. We have everything we need to just get going. So we start with Shopify. It does have a 14-day free trial, and it's only $9 a month if you want to use Lite. And so what Lite means is that it doesn't give you the full store. Like if somebody were to go to your Shopify store, they wouldn't see anything there. It just allows you to use the functions that are in the store, and it allows us to access the ShineOn app. Just make sure that if you have signed up for the platform already, that you are using a separate email, like a totally different one, because you have to have different emails with ShineOn platforms. So that will confuse people really quickly if you don't use a different email.
Yeah. So just to round that off, so the app and the platform, you just want 2 different emails for each of those. We're actually working on merging them, right, to make it easier in the future. But currently, 2 different emails would be the easiest way to keep all that clean.
Yeah, so you could do michael@gmail.com or michael1@gmail.com, something like that.
Yep. So. By the way, you can, most people don't know this, but if you put for Gmail in particular, if you put a plus at the end of your username, you can write anything you want after that, and Gmail will actually treat it like its own address. So you don't actually have to make 2 email addresses. You can do Michael plus ShineOn@gmail.com and Michael plus platform @gmail.com. And Facebook or Gmail will collect emails from both of those and display it in one inbox.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little hack not many people know about.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool. So you could do that also.
Yeah, so Google that if you're confused. So, okay, step 2. Step 1, sign up for Shopify. Step 2, Etsy.
Okay, step 2, you want to sign up for Etsy. And if you use the link that's in my PDF or that's on the screen, then you get 40 free listings. Woohoo for free listings. And that's, of course, no cost to you because it's free. And then just the highlights that people mostly get hung up on. So when you first get into it, you just put in your name and address and stuff. And then as it will make you do a listing first. Yes. Okay. So they'll make you make a listing. And within the listing, you have to create a shipping template. So these are the information that you'll need to add in that shipping template. And that's the shipping template that will also be used for all of your products moving forward. The next thing you want to do is that it will ask you for a production partner. This is a requirement by ShineOn, and I've seen some people be like, no, you don't have to do it, or I decided not to disclose it. Guys, it's just not worth it. It's a requirement, and maybe Etsy doesn't go searching for it, but say your account gets flagged for something else and they don't find that production partner in there, that could be enough for them to close your account. I've honestly never, ever, ever had a customer email me and be like, who's your production partner and why do you not make it yourself? Never. Because I don't even think a customer looks at it. So it's just not a controversial thing. Just put in ShineOn and the information that I have here. Also, let's see here. Okay.
And all this is in the PDF.
Yeah, all of this is in the PDF.
Okay, and just for anybody that tuned in late, the PDF, I have a little link. I'm going to update this post with the link at the end of the interview. I'm also going to drop it in the comments. You'll be able to hit the link and download the PDF. So it's coming. Stay tuned. Sit tight. It's coming right around the corner here.
Yep, it's awesome. So also in that link or in my PDF and also in this link here, I give you just a card that you can just download and just throw it up there. Because the point is you're not trying to make a real listing. You're trying to get it is a real listing. You're trying to just get your store set up so you can start getting up the quality listings and using the integration. So the point of that is just to just get it done. So there's also a design in there that you can just throw up there and finish off that listing to get your Etsy store set up.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Cool. Okay, yes, next.
Sign up with Said Commerce.
Yeah, sign up with Said Commerce. So if you are just joining us, Said Commerce really is a must. I know that there's Said Commerce is a must. You just have to have it. If you think that your time is not worth $30 a month, then you're crazy. So just get Said Commerce, because otherwise you're going to have to make a listing in Shopify, download all the pictures, move everything to Etsy and upload it. And then you're going to have to do, if an order comes in, you're going to have to put that into Shopify. Then you're going to have to come back and check on it and see if it's been shipped. And if it hasn't, you're going to have to do it again. And then you're going to have to get back to Etsy and input that information. It's just not worth it. And you just got to do the integration. Okay. So I talked to Said Commerce this week, and they did give me a coupon code. So if you use that and you buy the annual plan, then they will give you a discount.
All righty. Q&A, we made it. All right, so anybody that has some questions, right, go ahead and ask them now. There is about a 30-second delay between us and them. I'll flash the questions up on the screen so you can see them, Anna. But okay. I have a question first. So my question is, I've been around the block. I've been in this space for years. There's kind of there's some myths around Etsy I would like for you to shed some light on. Okay. I've heard that Etsy does not like print on demand, right? They don't like mock-ups, they don't like any of that. What do you say?
I say if they're not doing anything about it, then I don't think it matters. I've never had that experience. I've never heard that before, actually. So I would say that be creative in what you're doing, because probably what they're discouraging is people using the product and making copycats of it and then flooding the marketplace with with items that aren't quality. So if you're being creative and you are creating original things, you're not looking for other people's products and just trying to, make a similar version, then I don't think you have anything to worry about.
So have you ever had a listing rejected for no reason?
No.
Have you ever lost a Etsy store for no reason?
So I will be honest, we talked about that every platform has their ugly parts, right? So one of the bad parts about Etsy is that oftentimes when you are a new seller and you open your store, the bot comes in for whatever reason and will suspend it. So that happened to me with this store. And I just emailed them and then it was reinstated. But not to say that it isn't stressful, but that's something that does happen, but it's also very fixable. So I wouldn't let that stop you at all, because that's not like a final decision. That's something that started happening about a year ago to people, and it seems to be pretty much resolved pretty quickly. It just seems to be kind of a standard now. I don't know why, but it's not doing though, right? Like if I let that stop me when it shut down my store and I was like, oh, I'm so scared, I would have missed out. So you just gotta go for it.
It still doesn't sound as crazy as Facebook.
No, it's not. I mean, it's like, okay, so it's that one hurdle, but if it's just standard and you just email them and they get their account back and then you do everything that's original, you're following the rules. It's not like Facebook at all in that way. It's very, very reliable in general.
Cool. Love it. All right. Questions coming in here. So how many listings do you have? Here, let me change that's a little better. How many listings do you have?
So this is a question I actually get all the time. I think people feel like they need to have so many listings to be successful. I don't really talk about my numbers because it's not about me. It's about you and what you are able to do. So you can start having success after, like, here, sorry, my daughter's walking in. Call dad real quick, okay? Why? Let's go. Okay. Sorry, mom duties.
It's all right. Was that the famous 8-year-old?
No, that was my 7-year-old. She says she wants to grow up and own a Walmart. So,
wow, you got a whole family of tycoons. It sounds like.
Oh, I will brag about her for a second. She would sell popsicles and homemade lemonade at her soccer games in between her breaks every 15 minutes, and she was making bank. It was awesome. But that's a side note. See, anybody can do anything, right?
Not to digress, but in middle school, we had a really late lunch for some reason. It was like 1 o'clock, and people were just like famished by then. So what I started to do is, before I went to school, I'd go to my cabinet and I'd get Little Debbie's, and I'd like stuff my backpack with Little Debbie's, and then I'd sell them for like $1, $2, $3 to people. And what I found was I could get higher AOVs the closer it got to lunchtime because people got more hungry. So at the beginning of the day, I'd sell them for like $1. But by the time lunchtime rolled around, it'd be like 12:30. People are about to just fall on the floor and faint because they're so hungry. I'd be selling them for like $3 a piece.
That's funny. Scarcity and demand. I love it.
It was awesome. All right.
It is awesome. Okay, so back to this question is, there are people who start in pod and they will have immediate success because maybe they have experience, maybe they have a natural knack or whatever. But the key to this, whoever you are, wherever you're at, is consistency in listing. So, to be like, to say, oh, you need 400 listings, okay, that's just a number thrown out, would be a disservice, because you could truly find success starting at 10 listings if you have a product that connects with somebody. Right. And then you also would have to define like what your success is or what your goals are, to be like, okay, I'm, at the number of listings I want to make what I want. But the point is that you really should, I always tell people, set a goal to just list 5 listings a day. And I did get an email, maybe it was a couple weeks ago, and somebody said, I think they had like 100 listings or something and nothing selling. And they said, what do I do? I said, keep listing. Like I told him, go to 10,000. That was my advice, because that really is my advice. Like, because we're failing, right? The key to winning here is failing. So if you keep going through all your failures, you will eventually come off top. So don't focus on what other people have or what they've done, because you're going to set a poor expectation on where you're at. If you're a new seller, to say, list 20 a day would be unrealistic, but to say you could do 5 a day and you could see success is realistic, but you have to be consistent at that.
If you don't give up for long enough, you win.
Absolutely. That's the key. So don't worry about number of listings. Worry about what you can do daily to feed the machine and to build your portfolio.
Love it. Okay. Next, how do you get inspiration on messages and designs?
Ooh, I love this question. So my mother-in-law was my first inspiration because I have a very close relationship to her, and I'm convinced she's the best mother-in-law in the whole entire world. So you guys can all be jealous about that because she's so cool. But I tell people, when you first start, to draw inspiration on your unique relationships around you. So maybe you are especially close with your grandparents. Maybe you have godparents. Maybe it's your niece or nephew. Maybe it is your mom. And then focus on what is unique about that relationship. Maybe if it's a step parent, that step parent came into your life and fulfilled the role of a parent for you. And then when you can start with your message cards there. Like, what is unique about your relationship with some of these people? Or maybe it's a best friend, right? And then write about these unique relationships as if you're writing to this person. And usually I found that my ones that were really like written from the heart, like I've written messages to Haley that to Haley, thinking of her in certain circumstances. And those ones have sold because they're really meaningful and they connect to me. And so they probably connect to somebody else because they're in the same situation. The next thing I like to look at is if you have a unique relationships to someone, is there also a holiday or an event that you could celebrate that you could also write a message card? So that could be a birthday. If you are, like for me, I am part of a certain religious group, and we have, missionaries and we have baptisms. And so that is something that is, I know very well. It's very unique, and I could write towards those, and I would be the perfect person to write for that because I understand our culture and the things that people would say for that. So, look around you and see what is unique about your situation and the relationships you're in and the things that you're celebrating. Maybe you're from Hispanic descent and you're doing quinceañeras. I hope I say that right. But you would understand that niche, right? And that's one that people are celebrating. They're spending lots of money. Maybe it's weddings. Maybe there's a certain way you do your wedding that relates to a certain group of people. So I tell people to start where you're at and look around you and write about the relationships that are important to you.
Dig it.
Yeah.
Are you handling customer service? And how do you handle sales tax? Not sure we can answer the sales tax question, but customer service, you do anything with that?
Yeah, that's the ugly side of every part of this. But it's not bad. People, I found that that I really didn't have a lot of returns for people being dissatisfied. The biggest problem that I ran into with Mother's Day was USPS not delivering the products. So other than that, it really wasn't too bad. People are pretty genuinely really excited because it's a gift and they're trying to impress or spoil or show love to somebody. And so they're just really excited about the product and how meaningful it is. So it shouldn't scare you. It's just part of business.
Awesome. Okay. Here's a question from Resty. Did you even do any Etsy ads? I think they're just asking if you used Etsy ads in your Mother's Day run.
So when I first started to notice my sales going, I did try and test Etsy ads. But it really wasn't working for me. I haven't really known Etsy ads to be particularly successful for a lot of people. So the answer is no. I ended up turning them off. And then I think like a few days before Mother's Day, I had read somewhere where somebody's like, only put $1 on your ads because it will force Etsy to spend less per click. And I saw like that was the best results I got, but it didn't particularly do anything for me. Like it didn't change anything for me. So
gotcha. I know there's kind of so I haven't run a bunch of Etsy ads myself, but I know that there's not as much like strategy and tactic because there's like it's kind of automated like in a big way. But after you get to it's something like a certain amount of spend or once your account reaches a certain level of maturity, from what I understand, something opens up to where you can actually do some more sophisticated things. But like when I say that, I'm not comparing it to like what you can do on Amazon or Facebook. It's nowhere even close still. It's very closed down from what I understand. Yeah, and most of the manipulation is on the also on your product listings too.
Yes.
It's like optimizing that and things like that.
Yeah, that's going to be more important than your ads. So yeah.
All right, so here's a question for Facebook user. I'll probably take this one. Why is there not an integration between ShineOn and Etsy? And the answer is we're working on one. The goal is to have it done before the end of summer. So hopefully sometime in the next 60 days, we will have that rocking and rolling for you. So that'll be pretty cool. All right. Thank you, Anna. Sorry, I missed one part. In order to use ShineOn, do I need both an Etsy and Shopify account?
Yes. Yes. You need Shopify Lite and you also need your Etsy account. And it says, or can I connect ShineOn to Etsy using the app? Yeah. So you have to have Shopify and Etsy, and then you access said commerce through Shopify, and that will connect those two accounts. And let me tell you guys, like I get that it would be nice to have an integration today or like 3 months ago. But if I had let that hold me back, I wouldn't have had my run. So if you're serious about this, jump in and then figure out the rest later. Like if you have sales that are going and it's, you know, just deal with what's in front of you and then adjust when you need to. Like that's my little tip for going with integration now.
So, hey, before I get to the next question, I have one.
Okay.
And that is, do you like write all your own phrases, or do you do product research and find like some good phrases, then kind of franken phrase together your own thing, or what do you do?
I actually try to go with well, this kind of gets a little bit into my methods, but I do try to make everything original so that there's just no chance that I will ever have copyright. I like to, yeah. And my best sellers have been ones that I've come up with just from my head.
And so I usually discourage people from this. So I'm going to have to stick on this for a minute. So do you have like any writing like skill, hobby? Did you ever do any of that on the side? Anything like
I will tell you something funny, actually, Michael. You are going to, well, I died because maybe you will too. So I had a handful of bestsellers that just killed it, right? Of those bestsellers, one of them had a word that I thought was a real word, and I found out it wasn't.
No way. Did you say like irregardless or something like that?
Oh, yeah. It was something that sounded good in my head. I was like, I think this is a word. And this was one of my first phrases, so I didn't send it through Grammarly. So it just started selling. I had no idea until somebody pointed it out to me. They're like, that's not a word. And I was like, well, can't change it now.
Well, kudos to you. I got to tell you that the longer I'm kind of in this position, the more and more I see stuff work that I just typically would not think would work. Like, for example, with ShineOn, at least what always worked for me was the sentimental, kind of soppy, like heartfelt kind of thing. And then people started doing the funny / borderline offensive type stuff.
The humor
and
stuff.
Boom, it freaking worked, right?
Yes.
It just totally blew me away. I typically advise people not to make up their own phrases. Listen, before you go trying to do what Anna does here, I highly recommend at least get like a buddy system or something going so that people can read your stuff before you put it out. Because I get people that send me stuff all the time, right? And I can always tell when they made it up because there's no like cadence to it. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, you know how a good phrase almost has a rhythm almost, like it's almost like a song. Yeah.
You can feel it when you read it.
Exactly. Like that'll be missing. Sometimes there's typo or grammatical errors. It's my point is just at least get on a buddy system, have somebody kind of proofread your stuff until you know that you're good at it. I at least highly recommend that for anybody that's going to try to write some of their own phrases. Yeah. Would you basically agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because especially if you're starting out and you don't have that feeling yet of what you think is right or sounds good, it is good to have feedback from people who you generally, if you're not selling anything, then it doesn't really matter who you give your work to, right? Because it's better to get feedback than to just keep not getting sales. So I definitely recommend that. But that's also why I recommend like writing about your personal relationships because it helps create the tone and like that emotional connection because you're writing with emotions.
Yeah, I love that too. You start with what you know.
Yeah.
It'll give you an edge. Okay, next question here. How many listings can you do a day when you're new on Etsy?
So
is there a limit?
No, there's not a limit. To be honest, I don't know the exactness to this because I've sold so long, so I haven't really thought about it. But I have heard that with Etsy and even with Amazon, you're supposed to kind of warm up your account where you're supposed to list 10 listings a day or 15. So maybe start there. But, if you're new to that, you probably aren't going to be listing much more than that anyways. There really isn't it's not like Merch by Amazon where you have tiers and you're limited or anything like that. So
awesome. All right. We're going to do
nothing to worry about too much.
We're going to do maybe 2 or 3 more here. Which mock-up do you find converts the best?
The one that connects to the buyer the most. I know that sounds so vague, but it's all about making a product that connects to somebody. And so I don't ever know what's going to sell. I just try to test what I think could sell, and I try to connect with people. And so it's just, you got to find your own kind of slice of the pie and what connects to people.
What about the image, the like product image?
Oh, like what was my best-selling product at Mother's Day?
No, the image, right? You know how like we make a bunch of renders, a bunch of mock-ups?
Yeah.
So like which image did you find would work the best? Would you use like the upright ones, a slanted?
Well, the products that sold the best were the knot necklaces, the love knot necklaces. So it was just great. Honestly, I didn't really pay attention. I personally, my favorite products are the ones that are as close to the screen as possible, because when you're on Etsy and you have all these little thumbnails, you want somebody to be able to read your message in seconds, or at least catch their attention. So if your product's laying down or it's tilted on the side, they're not going to be like, what is that? They're just going to keep scrolling.
No, I agree with that 100%.
So I like stuff that's as much in your face as possible. It's
the same principle with Facebook.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be big, bold, in their face. You want a phrase that's going to reach out and slap somebody.
Yes.
I mean, it needs to really get their attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. How much time do you spend between research and designs per item?
Per item.
So how long does it take you to, like, if you were to sit down right now to crank out a new product here, how long would it take you kind of coming up with the phrase and all that stuff?
Yeah. Ooh. So this is kind of a hefty question, actually. But generally what I do is I like to do my research, and I like to come up with like a big packet of research ideas. And then from there, I could group it down into other little sub niches. If I kind of see it like, like a nurse, there's lots of different kind of nurses. So I could take it to there. And then I just start to write based on that. And then if there's anything that could apply in a different way, like where I just have to change a couple words, but it would change a niche, but it expands my time on that message, then I'll do that as well. And then I apply it to my message cards and get it up.
So the research you do, it's not really about the phrase, since you're making up all the phrases. It's like more niche research.
So it is niche research. I do like to see phrases that people are using so that it gets a familiar tone, because I know that people are selling that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally does. So like it's important for you to get the niche really dialed in. And then you like build phrases around the niche.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's not that I'm not looking at other people's stuff. It's just that I'm doing more than that. I'm looking for, letters that mom writes to their daughters. I'm looking for things that are sentimental, and people love writing sentimental stuff on the internet, right? Like an open letter to my ... I love looking for those cards because they are like a gold mine of information.
That is a hot tip right there.
Isn't that a good one?
Yeah,
and just the open letter to my, and whatever niche you're looking at, I kid you not, like you can use that and kind of draw from that tone, because that's a parent's, or that person's mind. I also love reading Facebook posts from my friends who are celebrating, like it's an anniversary and they write what they're writing to their loved one. Right. I love taking those and putting them into a PDF, because that's the mind of your buyer right there.
That is so freaking awesome. That is one of the coolest tips I've heard in a really long time.
Yeah. So, and that's how I get originals, because when I do my research packet, you get in the mind of the very varying ideas that somebody connects to with the receiver of the gift. Right.
Wow.
So
that's freaking awesome.
So that's why sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that's how I found my winning niche, is that I I did a research like that, and I didn't understand this niche until I dove in beyond just what was already out there on products, right? I listened to the language of the giver and the meaning of this relationship to this person. And then it made it a lot easier to craft original ideas around that.
I'm kind of distracted by, I'm blown away by that. The open letter method.
The open letter method, it's so good. I'm like, oh my gosh, people just word vomit all their feelings in an open letter to their loved one.
But you're totally right. And a lot of times that's the kind of crap that goes viral.
It is,
on
yes.
Facebook or whatever else. That is freaking amazing. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna be doing some Googling tonight, looking for some new phrases to go out.
Yes.
So look, I think that's a perfect way to kind of wrap this Coffee with Michael session up.
Yes,
so for everybody,
I want to say one more thing. If you have more questions, keep typing them in the chat, because Michael and I will collect those, and then if we need to address something in the future, whatever, we'll take care of it, or I'll take care of it on the Facebook group. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So a couple things for anybody that kind of show up late. First of all, let's give Anna some love. Let's get some little golf claps, right, in the chat, heart emojis. That would be pretty sweet. Smack the like button, all that kind of stuff to show her how much you appreciated her coming on the Coffee with Michael today. Also, if you tuned in late, I'm going to be literally in just, in fact, I'm going to update the post right now with the link. Give me 2 seconds here. This will be the link for the PDF download. Yes, and this will give you all the instructions you need to get your account set up with Shopify, Etsy, and Said Commerce. And it was going to save you guys, I kid you not, hours. I've helped lots of people go through this process now, and having it in this PDF is just going to save you so much time. So grab it, go snag it, and get set up today. And it's called the High Profit POD Starter Guide. Yes. All right, link is incoming. Cool. Save. Just updated the post. Everybody should probably, if you refresh this page, don't do it. You'll cut me off, though. If you refresh the page, you'll be able to see the link. I'm also going to drop it in the comments, so you don't have to cut this off and jinx your weekend. So grab the High Profit POD Starter Guide. And this is all about Etsy. 22 pages. Anna put it together. Yes. All right. Let's see here. You're getting all kinds of claps and thank yous. Woohoo! And all kinds of stuff. Well, guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this. Like I've told Michael before, I am ShineOn's biggest cheerleader, because I believe that anybody can start this. And I'm not saying, you have to make $100,000, but there is something to be had here that could change your life for something, right? Like you really are one product away from changing something in your life that is meaningful to you. So, if I can do it, if my 8-year-old daughter can do it one time over, then, or Roshan or Lisa, or, anybody can jump on this and get started today and have a great opportunity in front of them. So it's the greatest entrepreneurial opportunity in the history of the world. Yeah. Hands down. Also, thanks everybody for the chickens. This is kind of a running joke in my Coffee with Michaels. They show up all over the place. I see them. Thanks for the love. All right, Anna, seriously appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next week. What's up, everybody? Michael Christ here. I want to thank you so much for checking out today's video. Before you leave, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Check out all the links in the description below, particularly the link to register on ShineOn.com, and also the link to our Facebook group, where we are constantly sharing marketing tips and tricks to help you take your e-commerce game to the next level. So once again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.